There comes a moment in every marriage when one simple question rises to the surface, quietly but insistently. A question that slips between conversations, lingers in the spaces between two hearts, and gently, sometimes painfully, asks to be answered. Are white lies acceptable in marriage? It is a question that does not arrive wearing armor. It does not storm through the door demanding confrontation. Instead, it sits softly in the corner of our minds, whispering to us in moments when our honesty trembles at the edge of comfort. It is a question born from love, fear, hope, insecurity, and the deeply human desire to both protect and be protected. And today, I want to walk with you into that question with courage. With compassion. With reflection. Not to judge, not to condemn, not to deliver impossible standards, but to explore what happens when two people vow to build a life together, yet sometimes feel compelled to hide small fragments of truth. A white lie. A gentle lie. A harmless lie. A lie told to avoid hurting someone you love. A lie told to shield feelings. A lie told because the truth feels unnecessary, or heavy, or unkind. We have all heard these justifications. Maybe we have all used them. But marriage is not merely the collision of two people living side by side. Marriage is a living, breathing connection built daily, word by word, action by action, truth by truth. And yet, here is the paradox. The closer we feel to someone, the more vulnerable we become. And the more vulnerable we become, the more tempting it can be to wrap the truth in softness, to cushion it with gentle misdirection, to cloak it in something less than complete honesty. Out of love, we might say. Out of fear, we might think. Out of habit, we might eventually do. So the real question is not simply whether white lies are acceptable. The real question is what those white lies do to the foundation of a marriage. What they build, what they erode, what they protect, what they endanger. Imagine standing with someone you love, someone you have chosen, someone who has chosen you. Imagine the closeness of that bond, the way your lives intertwine like two melodies learning to harmonize. Now imagine that between those melodies, small pauses begin to appear. Tiny gaps. Spaces where truth was softened. Spaces where words were adjusted. Spaces where transparency was dimmed. At first, those spaces may feel harmless. They may even seem protective. A spouse asks a question about how they look, or about a decision they made, or about something they fear, and instead of offering the honest truth, we offer a safer version. Something easier. Something gentler. And yet, even the smallest lie can plant a seed. A seed of distance. A seed of uncertainty. A seed that says, without fully meaning to, I don't believe our love can handle the truth. That is where the danger hides, not in the lie itself, but in the message the lie carries. But let's pause. Let's breathe. Because marriage is not a courtroom. Marriage is not a perfect script of flawless decisions. Marriage is the meeting of two imperfect people learning, every day, how to trust each other more deeply. So before we judge white lies as entirely wrong or entirely right, we must understand where they come from. Sometimes a white lie is born from kindness. A desire to avoid unnecessary pain. A desire to reassure. A desire to keep the peace. And these desires, at their root, come from love. Sometimes a white lie is born from fear. Fear of conflict. Fear of rejection. Fear of disappointing someone you care about. Fear that the truth will open a crack too wide to close. And sometimes a white lie is born from habit. A learned pattern from childhood. A reflex from past relationships. A way of coping that doesn't even feel like a lie. So perhaps the deeper question is this: if white lies arise from love, fear, or habit, are they strengthening the bond or slowly weakening it? Marriage asks something extraordinary of us. It asks for vulnerability. And vulnerability, by its nature, feels uncomfortable. It means showing the truth of who we are. Not the perfected version. Not the curated version. Not the smoothed edges crafted to please. But the real, unfiltered truth. That kind of honesty demands courage. The courage to be seen. The courage to be imperfect. The courage to risk discomfort for the sake of intimacy. Because intimacy, true emotional intimacy, is built not through safety alone, but through trust. And trust is born not from perfection, but from transparency. When two people can speak honestly, even when the truth is awkward, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it challenges them, something powerful happens. Their connection strengthens. Their respect increases. Their understanding deepens. Their love becomes more grounded, more resilient, more authentic. But here is the challenge. Honesty without empathy can become cruelty. Honesty without timing can become harm. Honesty without gentleness can become a weapon rather than a bridge. So the goal is not blunt truth. The goal is compassionate truth. Truth delivered with tenderness. Truth shaped with empathy. Truth spoken with intention, not impulse. Because when truth meets compassion, it can illuminate instead of injure. It can guide instead of break. It can heal instead of harm. Now let us reflect on the reasons we sometimes choose a white lie. If we lie to protect someone's feelings, perhaps what we truly desire is for them to feel safe, loved, and valued. In that case, the question becomes, can we learn to speak truth in a way that still honors their feelings? Can we learn to express honesty in a way that nurtures rather than wounds? If we lie from fear, perhaps the deeper work is learning to trust that the relationship can withstand honesty. That our partner is stronger than we assume. That our bond is deeper than we fear. That truth may create momentary discomfort, but it will not destroy us. If we lie from habit, perhaps the opportunity is to unlearn the patterns that once protected us but now limit us. To choose presence over instinct. To choose connection over convenience. White lies do not immediately fracture a marriage. But over time, they can create small shadows. And those shadows, left unattended, can grow. They can lead to misunderstandings, to resentment, to the underlying sense that something is missing, something is hidden, something is not fully aligned. But honesty, honesty with grace, honesty with love, honesty with thoughtfulness, creates light. It creates clarity. It creates a space where both partners can breathe freely, knowing they are living in truth together. There will be moments in every marriage when honesty feels risky. When the truth feels heavy. When silence or a softened version of reality seems easier. And in those moments, it helps to ask a simple question. Does this white lie protect our relationship, or does it protect my comfort? Because those two things are not the same. Sometimes telling the truth requires us to step into discomfort. To sit in difficult conversations. To face our own insecurities. But the reward for choosing truth is profound. It is the kind of connection that lasts. The kind of connection that doesn't rely on illusion, but on integrity. Let us imagine what it would feel like to be in a marriage where truth flows easily. Where both partners speak openly, but gently. Where both partners know that honesty is not a threat, but a promise. A promise of respect. A promise of trust. A promise that no matter how difficult the truth may be, they are committed to facing it together. That kind of marriage is not built by accident. It is built intentionally, word by word, truth by truth. It is built by choosing courage over comfort. By choosing transparency over convenience. By choosing to believe that love is strengthened, not weakened, by truth. Some people say that white lies are harmless. That they smooth out the rough edges of daily life. That they prevent unnecessary conflict. And yes, perhaps sometimes they do. But the truth is that a marriage built on unspoken realities is like a house built on sand. It may stand for a while, even for years. But eventually, the foundation will shift, and the cracks will appear, and everything resting on those small lies will begin to tremble. A marriage built on honesty, however, even imperfect honesty, is like a house built on rock. It may face storms. It may face conflict. It may face difficult truths. But it will endure. It will stand firm. Because its foundation is real. So, are white lies acceptable in marriage? The answer is not simple. It is not black and white. It requires reflection, compassion, self-awareness. What matters most is intention. What matters most is impact. What matters most is the foundation you are building with the person you love. If a white lie shields your spouse from unnecessary harm but does not compromise truthfulness in the relationship, perhaps it can be forgiven. But if a white lie shields you from vulnerability, shields you from growth, or shields you from facing something true, then it becomes a barrier rather than a blessing. Marriage asks us to grow, to evolve, to rise above our fears, to choose truth, even when truth is uncomfortable. But truth alone is not enough. Truth must walk hand in hand with kindness, with patience, with empathy, with love. So perhaps the real answer is this: white lies are not the enemy. Avoidance is. Fear is. Disconnection is. White lies are simply the symptom of a deeper question: are we willing to face each other fully? Are we willing to trust each other with the truth? A marriage rooted in honesty and shaped by compassion becomes a place of deep safety. A place where both partners feel seen, heard, honored, and valued. A place where truth becomes a bridge instead of a barrier. And when two people build that kind of connection, even their hardest conversations become pathways to understanding, closeness, and growth. So as you reflect on this question in your own life, ask yourself, what kind of marriage do I want to build? What kind of love do I want to nurture? What kind of truth do I want to live? Because the answers to those questions will guide you far more deeply than any simple rule about white lies. Choose honesty. Choose compassion. Choose courage. Choose love strong enough to hold the truth. And in doing so, you will build a marriage that does not merely survive, but thrives. A marriage that becomes a source of healing, hope, and transformation. A marriage that stands as a testament to the power of truth spoken gently, courageously, and consistently. Your relationship deserves that authenticity. Your partner deserves that trust. And you deserve the freedom that comes from living in truth. May your marriage be filled with the kind of honesty that deepens connection rather than disrupting it. May your truth be shaped by kindness. May your courage open doors to deeper intimacy. And may your love grow stronger with every word, every moment, every day built on the foundation of transparency and tenderness. This is not about perfection. It is about presence. It is about commitment. It is about choosing truth, even when truth asks more of you. And in the end, the greatest gift you can offer the person you love is not a carefully wrapped lie meant to protect them, but the courageous truth spoken with a heart determined to love them fully. That is where marriages flourish. In truth, in compassion, in courage, in love, always in love.